Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this special live KUMB TV stream. We are, of course, here for the Europa League live. As you can see, we've got, wherever it is there somewhere, we've got a main window where you can see the stream happening. I'm joined here this morning by DL.
Good morning.
And we are going to be watching the stream with you to see what's happening. And we are just waiting for things to happen. The thing is, this is a live stream. We've got absolutely no idea whatsoever how this is going to go. We've done absolutely no planning whatsoever. We decided to do this about an hour ago, so bear with us if you will. What we do know is that the draw is going to be taking place very, very shortly. West Ham United are one of 32 teams in the pot. DL, should we run through the teams that are in there? Just to see.
Yes, you may, because I've got no idea what they are. I've not followed
I tell you what, I don't know if you can pick up a browser window, but if you go to the KUMB homepage and look under the news section, there's a story there entitled "The Europa League Draw Live Stream," and it's got a list of all the teams there. If you can find that, I'll start by going through pot one, and if you get there in time, you can do the pots 2 and 4, I guess.
Pot 2.
The format of the competition is quite simple, or the draw at least anyway. There are 4 pots of 8 teams, which are determined by that particular team's European coefficient, which is a rating given based on each team's performance in Europe previously, and also their league form if they haven't appeared in Europe too often, like West Ham United. So we'll start by running through those pots very short. If you can just bear with me a moment, I just need to post this link in a couple of places so people know where we are. Otherwise, they won't be able to find us. Bear with me. How are you getting on with that, DL? Have you managed to?
Oh yeah, I've got it up. Yep.
That link. Well, I tell you what. While I'm posting a couple of links, do you want to go through pot A? And
I will. Yes, I will go through pot 1 so we don't look as completely amateurish as we really are. Well, we have in pot 1, we have Lyon from France, Napoli from Italy, Bayer Leverkusen from Germany, Dynamo Zagreb from Croatia. Our perennial favourites, Lazio, one of our clubs that we seem to have a little association with, Olympiacos of Greece, Monaco in France, and Braga of Portugal. In pot 2, we have Celtic from Scotland.
Hang on a sec. Let's just, as we might have to string this out a bit because we don't know how long it's going to take for the draw to begin. So shall we go through that pot and just have a look at the teams in there first of all, keep the suspense going a little bit, and perhaps take a look at 1 or 2 of the teams that we might like to face. I mean, is there anyone in there that you'd quite fancy a trip to this autumn?
Lazio, definitely.
Yep.
I'm trying to think. Napoli as well. Italy's nice up there. It's a nice bit. Naples in Italy there. Germany, not so far away, so that would be a nice, interesting flight. Could even drive there.
Yep. What about is there anyone that you'd really like to avoid? You think that really wouldn't be worth a journey?
No, not really. They're all Croatia, I suppose. That's not particularly easy to get to, is it?
Not really. No.
So, but other than that, only Zagreb. But I'm not paying the fare, so.
There's actually some really good teams. You got Braga, Portugal, decent side. Monaco, of course, knocked out, I think, of the Champions League, weren't they, earlier this week against is it Shakhtar, perhaps? But some good quality sides in there. I mean, is there anyone in there, DL, do you think that West Ham should really be scared of? But bear in mind, these are considered to be the best 8 teams in the competition.
No, not really. Nothing particularly stands out as like, don't want to play those.
Yeah.
My worry is going to be going forward quite a bit when the Champions League teams start to drop in. I'm looking through the list. I'm like, there's not really anyone that we should be frightened of at all.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree. Actually, maybe the Bundesliga sides are always good in Europe, aren't they? So Leverkusen, perhaps, a really strong side. Lazio, of course, good. But you look at Monaco, Olympiacos, Braga, Lyon. Sides that I think we could at least put up a good fight against anyway.
Yeah, it's that. This is where I think our home games are going to be important. I fancy us to take on anybody at the London Stadium at the moment. And with the way Moyes gets his defence organised, even these top teams in Pot 1, if we can scrape, if worst comes to worst, we can scrape with a 1-0 defeat at some of these away games, I'm pretty confident we've got the ability to turn it around at home.
Yeah.
Looking through the whole lot, going forward a bit, there's no one really there that frightens me.
No, I agree. I think we could definitely give all of those sides a good game at least. Anyway, how we doing on the draw at the moment? It doesn't look like there's an awful lot happening. We're seeing a close up of our two presenters, who I've got absolutely no idea whatsoever who they are. Do they ring any bells to you?
No idea.
Okay. No, me neither. But anyway, let's move swiftly on, shall we? To pot number 2. We're still waiting for something to happen. So, do you want to take us through those, DL?
Yeah, we got Celtic in Scotland. Obviously, we've already thumped them once, albeit in a friendly, but they didn't look nothing special. Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, they'll be nice to have just for prosperity's sake, wouldn't they, really? A bit of nostalgia, yeah? Red Star Belgrade from Serbia. Leicester City, we can't be drawn against them anyway. Rangers, I'd fancy them I'd fancy us against them all day long. Lokomotiv Moscow. The only worry I'd have about drawing them in the pot would be the safety of the away fans in Russia, to be honest. Genk in Belgium and PSV in the Netherlands. That's where Haller's gone, isn't it? PSV? Or is it Ajax?
Is that? It just, they're arch rivals. But obviously, the main point I think about this pot is that we cannot be drawn against Leicester. A team cannot be drawn against a team in the same domestic division. So that narrows that down to 7, which means we've got a fairly good chance of drawing one of our old friends from Scotland, Celtic or Rangers, both in there. So a 2 in 7 chance of drawing one of those. Would you fancy that for a Europa League away game?
Yeah, not half. Definitely. And if we did they play the group match? When do group matches end?
Well, the group matches begin. The first one is we can run through these now. Actually, these dates. It begins on the 16th of September. Match day 1. Match day 2 is 2 weeks later on the 30th. Match day 3, the 21st of October. There's 2 in November, which is the 4th and the 25th, and the final group match day is the 9th of December. So, they're spaced out fairly well. Obviously, all Thursday evenings, the games. But, so 16th of September to the 9th of December.
Oh, that's a shame. I'm in Scotland in January. So if it had gone on that little bit further and Lady Luck had worked, then it might have worked out well, actually.
Everyone joining us on the stream, quite busy, as we can see, quite a lot of numbers coming in there today. Hello to all of you. Let us know who you'd like to see West Ham play out of those out of the pots that we've got. Hello to Steve Law, Philalagia, Nicola, Matt, Peter, Alan, everyone else joining us on the stream. Let us know who you fancy, where you fancy. Of course, the big point is here that we haven't really mentioned is that it still hasn't been determined whether or not away fans will be able to travel for these group games. Now, if that is the case that we can't, that's going to be a hell of a disappointment, isn't it, for all those Hammers fans that have waited so long to, be involved in this sort of competition?
Oh, definitely. It's going to be a right kick in the teeth. But at the end of the day, European games at the LS under the lights, I don't think it's going to get any better than that, is it?
Well, I think one thing it should do at least, everyone sort of complained about how the stadium, the London Olympic Stadium, doesn't have its own identity. It's not had any of those historically, memorable matches to look back on yet. The odd one or two here or there. But I suppose this is a real opportunity, isn't it, for the stadium to finally say, like you look at the bowling, or Upton Park, whatever you call it. You mentioned Eintracht Frankfurt there, which is widely considered to be one of the greatest games West Ham ever played under the lights there. You've got the Ipswich playoff semi-final, games like that, and you can go on and on at the bowling. But that's the thing, isn't it? The Olympic Stadium hasn't really had that yet. So, I guess this is a chance for that to change.
Oh, absolutely. It is our chance to make history. And, we've been lucky. We've seen European games, but there is a new generation of supporters that haven't. They know no different, and that's the thing that, regardless of what some of us oldies think of the stadium, there's kids coming through who've never been to the bowling ground, who the Olympic Stadium is home. So this is a chance for them, for the new generation of fans, to start making their history. And who are we to deny them that? Because we don't like the stadium. So yeah, this is an opportunity to make it home, I guess. To actually start making it home. Have historic nights there. And under the lights, 60,000 people against Star Trek Frankfurt. How special would that be?
Absolutely amazing. Cool. I mean, we were talking about Frankfurt there, as we said, some real history with the Hammers. As we said back in 1976, wasn't it? As I said a moment ago, widely considered to be one of the greatest games ever played. At the old ground. But yeah, I mean, we're just a question there. Rodrigo Marujo asking what are our thoughts on Braga. I mean, I've got to confess here, I don't know an awful lot about the Portuguese league. I know Braga finished fourth last season, quite some considerable distance behind Sporting, Porto and Benfica. Finished fifth. Interestingly, finished a place above Pacos de Ferreira, who came to our attention last week, didn't they? Beating our old friends from North 17 in the what's it called?
Yes.
Conference League, is it? Something like that?
They are indeed. Yes. I was a bit confused actually on this run-up that they would do, at the very start, with their run-through with grounds and stuff, while they were showing Spurs in the on a programme for Europa League, because they're not in it.
No, acid joke saying just checking Astragugu are not in the draw, are they? AJ, no, fortunately they're not in it this year, so they can't knock us out. Let's get back onto the pots anyway, because it looks like the draw is about to commence. Let's run through these quickly. Pot 3, DL, who have we got in there?
We've got Marseille,
none of these can't be drawn against.
Ludogorets Razgrad from Bulgaria, us obviously, Real Sociedad from Spain, Real Betis from Spain, Fenerbahce from Turkey, Spartak Moscow from Russia, and our good friends Sparta Prague from the Czech Republic. Now, obviously, because they're in the same pot as us, they cannot be drawn against us either.
It strikes me there's a couple of sides in that pot that, you compare it to 1 and 2, and I'm not sure that the quality is that much different. I mean, Marseille also very decent, Fenerbahce, good side, good pedigree. Real Sociedad, Betis, decent side. Spartak Moscow, Sparta Prague, as we know, did very, very well in the competition last year. And of course, a little team that you might have heard of called West Ham United. It's a good pot, isn't it? Good sides in there.
It is a good pot. And look, it's good to see, that's who we're rubbing shoulders against. These are established European clubs here. So just goes to show how good we are, really, isn't it? Something to be proud of.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Well, we're still waiting for the draw to begin, but we can wrap up our look at the teams that are in the draw now by going to pot 4. So who have we got in there? Now, of course, these are what are generally considered to be the minnows of the competition. So, the teams that we'd be hoping to score a few points against at least. So who have we got in there?
We've got Rapid Vienna from Austria. We have Galatasaray from Turkey. Now, that'll be a good away day. Legia Warsaw from Poland, and I think Winston Reed's former team, which I'm not going to pronounce because I am going to get it wrong, but they're from Denmark.
Yep.
Same as the Hungarian mob. I'm not going to try and pronounce that.
Yep.
Royal Antwerp from Belgium, Sturm Graz from Austria, and Brøndby from Denmark. And again, there's former Champions League teams in there as well. Again, there's not really any weak pots in this at all, is there?
No, I think you're right. I mean, you look there, and there's a couple of stinkers. I mean, Steve Law on the live stream is saying that the nightmare draw for West Ham would be Istanbul, Moscow, and Italy away. And I guess for anyone who was in Palermo a few years ago would know exactly why that would be the case.
Yes,
the last of those. But I mean, you look at a couple of, as you said, Gallagher, decent Turkish side, very, very strong. Brøndby, Denmark, have done well traditionally. A couple of other sides in there really. That perhaps could cause the Hammers, or we're looking at this, and we're not looking at San Marino or Luxembourg or teams of of that diminutive stature, are we? Or dare I say Astragugu, Jersey, I should say.
But again, you look at these teams, and again, there are none that from a football side of things, that actually worry me. None at all. Which maybe it's misplaced confidence. I don't know, but there isn't any. I don't think. Maybe Marseille.
Yep.
I think they're the only ones there because obviously if we do get them, oh no, we won't, will they? Because they're in pot 3, so
can't play them. Yeah, at this stage anyway.
I know there's nobody in there that stands out. I'm thinking, oh, that's going to be a bit tricky. I mean, and then none of them are going to be easy. But there's none that makes me think, I hope I don't get them, or I hope we don't get these, or whatever. But maybe sounds silly, but if we're going to win it, we've got to play them all anyway.
Yeah, of course, that's it. We're just seeing Giorgio Marchetti, or Marchetti, giving a little speech on the screen. I mean, this is the only problem with these things, Dio, isn't it? These introductions go on and on and on. I mean, we've got people asking in the stream, when does it start? We don't know. Is the simple question. The stream started at 11 a.m. and we could be sitting here. Did you see the Champions League draw yesterday, by chance?
I didn't. No,
me neither. So I'm unfortunately, we can't tell you how long all this introductory stuff goes on for, but I expect it will be quite a while yet. But anyway, anyone watching us or joining us on the live stream, do let us know who you would like to see West Ham come up against. If you're not a West Ham supporter, because there's clearly quite a few people joining us on the stream that aren't from the East End of London. Let us know who you'd like to see your teams up against if one of your teams are in the draw. BJ King says they are warming up the balls. So this, here we go. I think we're about to commence very shortly.
Okay, let's get a bit of audio on so I can hear what's going on.
Available, it will be automatically allocated to Group A.
Oh, hang on. This is just explaining, I think, how the draw's going to work.
All right.
Might be worth listening to this because I ain't got a clue.
All right, we can come back to that in a minute. Rodrigo, our friend Rodrigo, talking about the Portuguese side, Braga, who we mentioned briefly, who are in what pot are they in? I'm trying to think. What pot? Pot 1 in the highest pot potential. We're seeing the pots on the screen now. So there you go. So as you can see, Braga there. Listed at the bottom of pot 1. Rodrigo saying that Braga are quite a selling club. They've sold a lot of interesting young players like Trinchao to Barca. They're tricky to play at home, and every club in Portugal struggles to play there. So, yeah, that could be potentially a very tricky draw for West Ham. I'm trying to think of our record against Portuguese sides. We've come up against one or two in the old Bobby Moore Cup, or the Betway Cup as it's been renamed recently, haven't we? Don't seem to have had a particularly good record against them.
I don't think we can read much into that, obviously. Again, I don't know. I've got a very, very good feeling about this. I don't think we're going to go on and win the competition as much as I'd love us to do it. But I think we're going to do well. I think we'll qualify from whatever group we've got, because as I previously mentioned, there's nothing there that worries me.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I'm actually just looking at the KUMB News archive just to see what our history is against Braga, and we have played them a couple of times in recent years. We played them in a pre-season friendly on the 10th of August 2012 over there in Portugal, and we were 1-0 down until Winston Reid popped up with a last-minute equaliser to give us a 1-0 draw against them. And then I think we played them again a year later when we again went to Portugal, and we lost 1-0. When Rafa scored the only goal for Braga on that particular occasion, 7th of August 2013. So we have had a little bit of experience of playing there in the past. Andy Carroll also playing on that particular occasion. But yeah, so we have played Braga once or twice. Anyway, I'm just looking at the other sides and thinking if we got much history against them. Anyone? I mean, we mentioned Eintracht Frankfurt. I mean, Dio, you mentioned Celtic, who we played in pre-season, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we've got associations with quite a few European clubs, haven't we? We've strangely got this association with Celtic through. Oh, hang on, Monaco are first out.
Okay, here we go. The jury's underway.
Monaco, Group B for AS Monaco.
So who we got first? Is that Monaco coming out first of the pot?
Do you know what? I'm lost already.
Good start. Well, there's well, the problem is, see, we're talking to each other and listening to each other, so we're not actually listening to the broadcast from the Europa League. Now, there's circles flying across the screen at the moment, and I'm not quite sure what that means so far, but
I think
We
what
are
they're doing
underway
is,
anyway. We know that much. The draw is underway. What do
they're
you
pulling out the group, the
the
seeded groups like one, I think, and each time one's going into this pot, that group, that group, that group.
Okay.
I think.
I'll take your word for it because I'm completely lost. I'm actually trying to watch 3 screens at once, which is a little bit
Same.
a little bit confusing because they're all at different times. But anyway, we are looking at. I think we're looking at some kind of draw being made. There's a bit of chat going on the screen at the moment.
Finalist of 1998.
Emran 19 says he wants West Ham to have good tests and experience from this group stage, which will make us stronger. We do have a team come out. That's Lyon have been drawn. I'm presuming, does that mean? I guess that means they go into Group 1. What do you make of that?
I'm not making anything of it at the moment.
Okay.
I'm totally lost.
Well, the gentleman on the right is playing with his balls, giving them a good stir at the moment. And he's taking the top off. It looks like this could be the second team being drawn right now. And on my screen, I see Monaco coming out.
Oh, I've just seen Leverkusen come out. So you're a little bit behind me, I think.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait to see what comes up on the screens.
Right. I think I've got it. What they're doing is they're drawing pot 1 first.
Right.
Okay.
And
they're all going in. They're the first ones. And so if Lyon came out first, they're in Group A. If Napoli comes out second, they're in Group B, so forth and so forth and so forth.
Okay.
That's what I think I've deciphered.
Excellent.
I might be wrong.
Okay. So what have we got
2.
so far?
I've got no idea.
Kinder eggs, says Steve Law. Yeah, they do definitely resemble Kinder eggs, don't they? It's making me feel quite hungry now. I've just seen Olympiacos come out of one screen and Monaco, I think, out of another screen. So, Aaron, I think there you go. So, Dio, Aaron saying, yeah, that's correct. You've got that spot on. Your interpretation there of what's happening. So, just recap again, if you would, for anyone who's just joined us, what exactly is going on here at the moment.
Recap? I haven't even worked it out myself. Yeah, they're pulling balls out and they're choosing where they go. That'll do, wouldn't it?
Perfect explanation. We appear to be getting some friends from around Europe joining us on the stream. Maxi says Germany's waiting for a good performance by our teams in the Europa League for years. So we'll see if the Germans can do anything. Of course, we've got some Bundesliga sides in there. Bayer Leverkusen are in pot 1, of course, in the competition. I think that's it, actually. I think they're the only German representative in there this year from the Bundesliga. Hakan is clearly a Gala fan. 1 or 2 Turkish sides, of course, Galatasaray in pot 4, the Minnows pot. Along with Fenerbahce, who are in pot 3, a couple of Turkish sides in there. How are we doing on this draw so far? What do we? Where do we think we're at?
Well, we've got so far in Group H. It's what I'm doing. I'm trying to cheat here, and I'm going on the UEFA Europa League Twitter.
Excellent.
Group D, Olympiacos. Group E, Lazio. Group F, Braga. Group G, Leverkusen. Group H, Dinamo Zagreb. Group A, Lyon and Rangers. Group B, Monaco and PSV. Group C, Napoli and Leicester. And that's as far as I've got.
Okay. Can you just run through those again quickly for me, Dio? And I'm going to jot these down. I mean, we're resorting to using a bit of pen and paper now, which is ludicrous in these modern times to keep up with exactly what's going on. But can you just run through those again for me so we can see where we are?
Group D, Olympiacos. Group E, Lazio. Group F, Braga. Group G, Leverkusen.
Hang on a sec. Sorry, Group Leverkusen in G, yeah.
Dinamo Zagreb in H. A, Lyon and Rangers thus far.
Yep.
Group B, Monaco and PSV. Group C, Napoli and Leicester. And that's as far as we've got. Group D now, Olympiacos and Frankfurt.
Okay. So
Group E also now has Lokomotiv Moscow, or have I done that one?
No, that's fine. So Moscow are joining Lazio in Group E.
FC Fenerbahce, Red Star or Red Star from Serbia will be put into Group F for Red Star.
So is that Red Star Belgrade, I think, just coming through, going in?
I think so. With Braga.
So they're joining Braga, the Portuguese side who we were speaking about earlier, in Group F. West Ham are coming up next. These are the pot 2 teams we're going through now, I believe. So I'm guessing we've got Celtic to come out very soon.
Scotland, and they are put into the E. Finalists of this competition in 2003.
Okay, we're just waiting for the next team. Bit of a pause here.
Yep, I'm waiting for the Twitter to update.
Surprise.
Okay, Celtic have been drawn. I'm not quite sure what group they're going in.
They're in Group G. Celtic are in Group G.
So Celtic with Leverkusen in Group G. So one more team to come in Group H. So if I'm running
That's
through
Genk.
the top 2 teams, Genk will be the last one.
Genk is
So they'll be
Group
with.
Yeah, so we're halfway through.
So Genk of Belgium will be with Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia in Group H. So we're halfway through the draw. We have so far Lyon of France and Rangers of Scotland in Group A. Group B is Monaco and PSV Eindhoven. Group C, Napoli of Italy and Leicester City, who we know very well, of course. Olympiacos and Eintracht Frankfurt making up the first half of Group D. Group E, so far Lazio and Moscow in Group E. Group F, Braga and Red Star Belgrade. Group G, Leverkusen and Celtic. Group H, Dinamo Zagreb and Genk of Belgium. West Ham's group coming up now, West Ham's pot. So we're about to find out where the Hammers are. Here we go. Pot number 3 coming up now. Marseille, Ludogorets, Sociedad Betis, Fenerbahce, Moscow, Spartak Moscow. I think, it was Lokomotiv, wasn't it, who was in Group B? There's 2 Moscow
Marseille
teams.
are Group A.
Okay. They can't be, can they? Because Lyon are in Group A, so that will be moved if that's the case. Let's see what's happening there.
No, they're in Group E. Marseille Group E. Correction.
Okay.
There.
Sparta Praha can go into Group A.
Group A is Sparta Prague.
Okay, Sparta, West Ham Light, as we said. Former home of Thomas Souček and Vladimir Soufal.
They're in Group A with
Lyon
and
Rangers.
Rangers.
So we've missed Rangers. West Ham cannot play Rangers anyway. That's one of the 2 Scottish teams that we thought we could potentially be drawn against. Not now. Rangers, Lyon, and Sparta Prague in Group A. We're coming up to Group B. Does that mean that Marseille? Well, Marseille can't go in Group B either, I guess, because Monaco are in there. So they'll have to be moved down, I guess. I'm not quite sure how they get moved down, but we'll find out anyway very, very soon. Group B, Monaco, PSV and Real Sociedad. I think that is DL. Been drawn in Group B.
Group B, Monaco, PSV and Sociedad,
Okay, so where's the Hammers? We've just seen Spartak Moscow drawn now. I presume they'll be going in Group C. The confirmation, Napoli, Leicester and Sparta Moscow in Group C so far. 5 left. West Ham still not out of the hat so far. Fenerbahce are next up.
They're in Group D.
Fenerbahce joining.
Has got Ludogorets in it.
Okay. So, sorry, Ludogorets are Group
F.
F.
Group F.
Okay.
Trying to find Group E.
Yeah, we seem to have jumped that. I wonder if that's where Marseille went.
Possibly, yeah.
Because
Group G is Leverkusen, Celtic and Betis.
Well, okay. So West Ham are going to be facing either Celtic and Leverkusen or Zagreb or Genk, if our calculations are correct.
No, Betis has come out into Group G.
So it's not Celtic. So it looks like the Hammers will be facing Dinamo Zagreb and Genk of Belgium.
We've
if
just
we've
come
got that
out.
right.
We've just come out the pot.
Yep. We are out. West Ham are out. The very last ball from pot 3, and we think that's Dinamo Zagreb and Genk. We're going to be
It is
going
indeed.
in.
It is indeed.
Yep.
Dinamo Zagreb, Genk, and West Ham United. What a lovely, lovely group.
Oh, so we have trips already to Croatia and Belgium. Well, I suppose it could be worse, couldn't it? It's not,
It could indeed.
it's not the other end of the world, but we still got, of course, pot 4 to come to find out who the Hammers will face.
Exciting.
It is, isn't it? I'm really enjoying this. It's really good fun, really good fun. But Group H, West Ham United confirmed in Group H of the Europa League against Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia and Genk of Belgium. In just a moment, I can tell you exactly how those sides finished last year in their leagues.
Yeah, we are being told off, by the way, that Suchek and stuff come from Slavia Prague and not Sparta.
Yes, yes, you're right. Of course it was. Of course it was. My apologies. Near enough. Same city anyway, I guess. We're just waiting for pot 4 anyway to come out.
Where they will be joining Lazio, Lokomotiv Moscow, Olympique Marseille.
Let us know on the live stream what you think of the draw so far. West Ham United facing trips to Croatia against Zagreb and Genk in Belgium. We'll have a little look at...
All right, Group A is completed. That's going to be Lyon, Rangers, Sparta Prague, and Brøndby.
Okay, so that's potentially one of the better teams from pot 4 out of the way.
Group E is also completed, which is Lazio, Lokomotiv Moscow, Marseille, and Galatasaray.
Well, that's good because I think Gala were the one we probably wanted to avoid, weren't they, in pot 4? Yep. So that's good for West Ham. We're rapidly approaching the conclusion of the draw. 6 more teams to come out. Then we'll run through everybody who's in the groups with you.
Dun, dun, dun.
And
Monaco, PSV, Sociedad, and Sturm Graz are Group B. Whoever's doing the UEFA League Twitter feed, their fingers must be on fire.
So Group B confirmed the Austrians, Sturm Graz, being drawn with Monaco, PSV, and Real Sociedad. Still waiting for West Ham's final opponents to be drawn. They will be the very last team left in the pot because, of course, West Ham have been drawn in Group H, the last of the 8 groups. So we're just filling D, E, F, and G now. Dia will tell us who's in Group D very shortly.
Group F, Braga, Red Star Belgrade, Ludogorets, and the Winston Reeves former team.
Midtjylland, I think that is.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I'll let you pronounce it because I ain't.
I'm taking a real... I'm winging that one completely. Yeah, so that's potentially one West Ham might have liked. Trip to Scandinavia, always a good away trip, but that one's off anyway.
Lovely. And hello to the 1,500 of you that are watching this shambles.
Yes, very busy on the stream today. We've just seen Legia Warsaw drawn out. What pot's that, Dio? Any idea?
Let me do a refresh. So what we got here? Group D, Olympiacos, Frankfurt, Fenerbahce, and Antwerp. Group C, Napoli, Leicester, Spartak Moscow, and Legia Warsaw.
Okay, so we're just waiting. I think that means there's two teams left, Group G and Group H now. My stream, is some considerable way behind. It looks like the guys on Twitter are ahead of the live stream. Interestingly,
Group G, Leverkusen, Celtic, Betis, Ferencvaros, or whatever it's bloody called. That Fenerbahce, is it?
Ferencvaros of Hungary. So who's that left? Vienna. I think it's Rapid Vienna, isn't it? I think that's the Austrians, Rapid Vienna. So what a wonderful trip that is. Interestingly, I was out in Vienna with the Hammers. Oh God, about a decade ago for pre-season.
Yep, that's it.
Um,
Dynamo. Yep, you're right. Dynamo Zagreb, Genk, West Ham, and Vienna.
Yeah, and I can tell you from first hand that's a wonderful away trip for West Ham fans. So there it is. That is the Europa League group draw. It is done and dusted. West Ham United will face Dinamo Zagreb of Croatia, Genk of Belgium, and Rapid Vienna of Austria. Do you want to run through the other teams in the groups, Dio, while we're
Okay, let me scroll back through a little bit. Let's see where we are. All right, Group A, we've got Lyon, Rangers, Sparta Prague, and Bromby. In Group B, Monaco, PSV Eindhoven, Real Sociedad, and Sturm Graz. Group F, I'm just going through the Twitter feed, so it's not in order. Braga, Red Star Belgrade, Ludogorets, and Winston Reed's former team. Group C, Napoli, Leicester, Spartak Moscow, and Legia Warsaw. It's a bit of some bit of travelling there for the Leicester fans, isn't there?
Yeah, I think they've definitely got the short straw there, haven't they? When you when you look at that draw. But what's your initial reaction to that deal and West Ham's draw? Can we make it through to the qualifying round or to the knockout phase?
I'm not sure it could have got any better, to be honest. I think that's a lovely group. I think it's a lovely group indeed. There's not really any of the bigger names that are in the draw that we're going to be facing. I could see us qualifying from that. Winning the group, let's hope so.
Well, I mean, I think if you look at that, the team from Pot 1, Dinamo Zagreb, probably one of the, I hesitate to say weakest, but certainly not the strongest teams when you look at Lazio and Braga, Leverkusen, Lyon that we could have faced. So certainly a decent side there. Just going to touch quickly on how these teams fared in their domestic competitions last season in order to qualify for the group. Let's start with Zagreb, who were, of course, the Pot 1, the first drawn out of the hats in Group H. Zagreb actually won the Croatian First Division last year. And they were, as a consequence of that, were put into the Champions League qualifying round, which I haven't got the results here, but we can only assume they were knocked out of qualifying at some point, which means that they're in the Europa League. Zagreb winning the Croatian First Football League last season with 85 points from 36 games. It's 8 points clear of Osijek, who, of course, we faced. I think it was in the was it in the Europa League or the Tin Pot Cup? On the way to the Europa League, I think it was actually in the UEFA Cup, wasn't it, in the first round?
I think it might have been. Yeah, I'm trying to get this up on my screen, but
okay,
I can't. Where the Zoom thing is on top, and I can't. There we go. They lost on the UEFA League Champions League third qualifying round.
Yeah, this is the group we're talking about. Yeah.
I can't even work it out. Mate, I ain't doing too well here, am I?
Well, I'll tell you what, while you're looking at that, I can tell you how the other two teams we will face fared in their domestic competitions last season. First of all, Genk in the Belgian Jupiler League finished fourth in the division. Bruges qualified for the Champions League by winning the group. Antwerp second, 16 points behind Bruges. Last season with 60 points. Anderlecht, who, of course, another team that West Ham have come across in Europe in the past, the 1976 Cup Winners' Cup final, which we lost 4-2 at the Heysel Stadium, finished third in the Belgian League last season. And Genk, who we now face in the Europa League Group H, finished fourth with 56 points from 34 games. So 20 points adrift of champions Bruges. They beat Ostend, who are fifth by 3 points to qualify for the Europa League Conference playoffs. And DL is looking at the results there to let us know how they got on. And just
they lost 3-0 on aggregate to FC Sheriff Tiraspol from Moldova.
All right. Can't say I've ever heard of them before. Did they ring any bells to you?
No.
Okay. Good stuff. And
yeah, then they got knocked out by these massive Moldovans. I think it's Moldova. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yep.
so Sheriff Tiraspol or whatever they're called, they're actually, I think, in their first ever Champions League. And they stuffed Zagreb 3-0
Okay.
to knock
that's
them out of the
interesting.
Champions League qualifiers.
So there you go. So Zagreb potentially could have qualified for the Champions League, but no, knocked out in the qualifiers and down into the Europa League. But they'll face West Ham, the Austrian Bundesliga. Last season, naturally won by Red Bull Salzburg. The Red Bull side's very, very strong. Salzburg winning that division with 51 points from 32 games. Rapid Vienna, runners-up in the Austrian First Division last season. Rapid Vienna, who West Ham will face in the Europa League. Group H, finished with 36 points from 32 games, won 17, drew 8, lost 7 of their 32 fixtures. They also were put into the Champions League qualifying rounds, but were knocked out. I don't know if you can tell us who by DL. They were in the second qualifying round. They went.
Who's this gig?
Rapid Vienna. Vienna. They were knocked out there, and they actually finished above Sturm Graz, who were third in the Austrian Bundesliga last year, who qualified for Group B of the Europa League, along with Monaco, PSV, and Real Sociedad. But yeah, Rapid Vienna, they were knocked out at some stage anyway in the Champions League qualifying round. I don't know if I can perhaps bring that up as well.
Sparta Prague, by the looks of it, the second qualifying round of the Champions League, they were knocked out. Rapid Vienna were knocked out by Sparta Prague.
Yeah, 3-2 on aggregate, according to this. They won the first leg 2-1 and were beaten 2-0 in the Czech Republic to get knocked out of the competition and sent into the Europa League. But there you go. So that's West Ham United's opponents. Let us know on the live stream what you think of the draw. I mean, I think, Dio, we're really quite pleased with that, aren't we? Sort of looking at the teams we could have faced.
Yeah, but I don't think it could have got any better. I think it's what the sort of, obviously not the exact same teams, but it's the sort of group that I think we would have liked, we would have preferred. We've avoided the big names, which is a bit of luck, really.
Yep.
That's all it's down to. Quite literally, luck of the draw. I can't complain. Can't complain. I don't see anyone there that I'm like, oh, it's going to be a bit. They're all going to be tricky. Obviously, we're travelling miles before we play. But how exciting to see the beast of Antonio up against these defences. They're not going to know what's hit him, are they? He's totally different type of players they've faced before, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Very much so. We're back on the screen now. You can see us. We finished the draw, so we don't need to show you that anymore. But let's just run through quickly for the benefit of anyone who's joining us a little bit late, how the draw has worked out. In Group A, we've got Lyon of France, Rangers of Scotland, Sparta Prague of the Czech Republic, and Brøndby of Denmark. Monaco, PSV, Real Sociedad, and Sturm Graz of Austria in Group B. Group C, Napoli, Leicester City, Sparta Moscow, and Legia of Warsaw. That looks a tough one to me. You, dear. I mean, Leicester up against, Napoli, a very strong pot one team, and probably got the pick of them, apart from West Ham, of course, the pick of the pot three teams in Spartak Moscow.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm now trying to get the zoom up. I can't see you. I don't feel sorry for Leicester. Well, would I? They're our rivals, but feel sorry for their fans if they can't travel away, and if they can, they've got some long old trips. I mean, we've got one long trip to Zagreb.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're all relatively local, which is handy.
Yeah. Group D, Olympiacos, Eintracht Frankfurt, Fenerbahce, and Antwerp. Probably not the strongest group in there. Who would you fancy from that one, looking at those teams? I mean, I quite like the look of Eintracht, I think, out of those four.
Again, they look the strongest there. I'm trying to find the group again. I'm so difficult. Oh, here we go. Fenerbahce. See, they're a team I've heard of, if you know what I mean. I've said it before. I don't really follow football away from West Ham United. But no, again, Fenerbahce, big Turkish team. Anything can happen out there. They've got absolutely mental fan base, like most of the Turkish teams. So it's always going to be tricky.
A tough place to go, I think you could put that one down as.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think Liverpool, wasn't it, felt the brunt of that a few years ago. I think there was
There
was a couple of lads killed out there, wasn't there? If I remember right, I think that was Gallagher they played. But anyway, and now looking at Group E, I think this is a it's a tough one, isn't it? Lazio, Moscow, and Marseille, and we said Gala. I mean, anyone could win that one, couldn't they?
But yeah, that's like an old Champions League group, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's anybody's guess. Absolutely anyone's guess. Like I see, I want us to play Lazio. So I want them to win the group and us to win the groups, and hopefully we play them. That would be super.
Group F, Braga of Portugal, Red Star Belgrade, Ludogorets and Midtjylland. Someone please pull me up on my pronunciation. I'm sure that's completely wrong, the Danish team. But I don't know about you, Dale, but to me that looks like a walk in the park, really, for Braga. I don't think they're going to come up against an awful lot of trouble in that group. But Group G, our fellow Brits, Celtic, drawn against Bayer Leverkusen, Real Betis and Ferencváros of Hungary, a very famous team from the past, going back a long, long time, and certainly not the same quantity they once were. But tough one for Celtic against Betis and Leverkusen.
Oh, yeah, extremely tough group for Celtic. They're not doing too well up in Scotland anyway, either, are they? So, yeah, I can see them not qualifying from the group. Again, another team would be nice to see qualify, because obviously, again, it's a relatively local away game for us if we draw them in the later rounds, if we qualify. But no, that's going to be a big ask for them, I think.
Steve Barlow says, I'm honestly pleased in terms of locations and strength. It's talking there specifically, of course, about West Ham United's draw in Group H there. I'm scrolling through the comments. We seem to have been hijacked by Greek and Turkish supporters. So hello to all you guys out there. I hope you managed to get the draw you want. There was someone asking how what we thought of Group E, which I think we briefly touched on, Lazio, Moscow, Marseille and Gala. I suppose if you're talking of, groups of death, as you quite often refer to in competitions, that's probably the one, isn't it? Those any four could go through, couldn't they? Lazio, Lokomotiv Moscow, Marseille, Gala. It's pick 2 from 4. It's a tough one.
It is going to be a tough one for them, but you're going to have to. Well, look at it. You're going to have to play the better teams anyway if you're going to win the competition. That's why we're in there. Hopefully, we will go out and win it, and we don't put out sides. Hang on, bear with me. Yes, yes, you can have that disappear. Bugger off. Thank you.
Chris Bowen says that's a good draw for us. David Sullivan will be ringing around all the budget airlines now.
Yeah, he will, and all, won't he?
Of course, as we mentioned right at the top of the stream, Dio, the problem is it's still not been clarified whether or not away fans can attend these matches, which would be an absolute huge disappointment to West Ham fans that have waited all these years to be involved in a group stage competition like this, wouldn't it? But we have to wait and see what's happening on that.
Yeah, we will indeed. Well, I've actually just had a report from somebody that apparently David Sullivan's now down in Dover. He's picking up all the dinghies that he can find. Anil
Chevdat, I think that is saying that Group E is harder than the UEL, which I believe is the Champions League, and I think you got a fair point. Again, coming back to Lazio, Moscow, Marseille, and Gala. Very tough one. Let's touch briefly the first two we didn't actually look at in any depth, so we'll have a quick nose at those. Group A, Lyon, Rangers, Sparta Prague, and Brøndby. How do you rate Rangers' chances of escaping from that group, Dio?
I think they've got the advantage of Steven Gerrard as a manager. Really, he knows what Europe's all about, and he had as much as we don't like him as West Ham fans for what he done. It can't be denied he had a bit of a stellar career with Liverpool in Europe. He's lifted European Cups and stuff. He knows how to play in Europe. Still going to be tricky for them. I could maybe see them finishing second or third.
Yes, a bit of a tough one for Rangers. Who would you expect to win that one? You fancy Lyon to come through top of that group?
Yeah, I'll go for Lyon, based on absolutely nothing.
Well, they are, of course, the pot one side. Got the highest coefficient, best European record in recent years. So certainly not a long stretch to suggest Lyon. Group B, we didn't touch on really. Monaco, again, a huge pedigree, European pedigree. PSV Eindhoven, another team that over the years have always been, involved in Europe. Real Sociedad, not the biggest Spanish team, but certainly as any La Liga side is going to prove a tough test for anyone else in Europe. And Sturm Graz in Austria, probably got the toughest set of fixtures in there. Is there a sort of a standout fixture there? Monaco versus Sociedad, perhaps the deciding fixture in that group?
Yeah, it could well be. But again, that's another group that could, within the last decade, have been a Champions League qualifying group. So it's I think all 4 teams within the last decade have been in the Champions League, or even out of my memory shot.
Yep.
So yeah, that's another tricky group. Again, it's one that we've done well to avoid.
Yeah, I think
really,
you're right.
because there's some pretty strong teams there.
Yep. Gnome, our old friend Gnome, has just popped onto the live chat to reference a fixture in Group D that we haven't spoken about yet. The 4 teams in there: Olympiakos of Greece, Eintracht Frankfurt, Antwerp, and Fenerbahce of Turkey. The Greeks versus the Turks, as Gnome says in the live stream. Fenerbahce versus Olympiakos, a quiet night out, no doubt. That's going to be a lively game, isn't it?
It is. It is indeed. I might even watch that one.
Yes,
if I'm off.
Not one for the squeamish, presumably, that particular fixture. The one thing, of course, we haven't had clarified yet is exactly when and where West Ham will be playing their 6 fixtures. And I'm not quite sure when those dates will be determined. I believe with the Champions League, it's later that day. So we're expecting confirmation of that within the next 24 hours anyway, at least. But
I do recall reading on the thread that the actual fixtures, dates and stuff will be later on this evening. That was on the forum. Don't know how reliable the source was. I can't remember who said it. Whoever said it probably has best intentions and knows more than me. So no reason to doubt it.
Yeah. For the record, stick with KUMB.com. We'll be bringing you news of any of those fixtures as soon as they're announced. Look on the homepage at KUMB, or of course, there is the Europa League thread on the general discussion forum where this is all being spoken about. I'm going to dip into there in a minute, actually, and just see what some of the reaction is, DL, to the draw. But once again, for those who are just joining us who couldn't make it earlier, West Ham have been drawn in Group H of the Europa League 2021-22, along with Dinamo Zagreb, who came out of Pot 1, Genk of Belgium, who came out of Pot 2, and Rapid Vienna, who came out of the Minnows Group, Pot 4. West Ham, of course, in Pot 3. Missed Celtic and Rangers. We thought, we were perhaps hoping for one of those to be drawn against us, but we missed it anyway. But as we were saying, dear, we're pretty happy with the draw, aren't we? I think overall, it could have been a lot worse.
Could have been a lot worse, and that is generally the consensus. I'm just looking now on the thread. People are actually disappointed that we've not got the big names.
Okay.
Lincolnshire Hammers, I knew we would get a SHIT group. Pretty disappointed, to be honest. I'll have to agree to disagree on that one. I'd rather us go through rather than have Glamatizer be knocked out in the group stages, and then we can play the bigger teams.
Agreed.
Going on to page 2, that's not 2. Croatia and Belgium, couple of nice away days, I reckon. That's if fans are allowed, of course. Soul Circus was in Zagreb many moons ago when Croatia had a Euro qualifier. It was a pretty tasty atmosphere, should be a good away day. SH with his normal partisan comments, we are winning this. Yeah, that's I'm not going to pronounce that as it's a family show at midday. Don't get ahead of ourselves. Zagreb, this is Hammer PDC. Don't get ahead of yourself. Zagreb put it on Spurs big time last season. They're a tidy outfit. But, it's Spurs, isn't it? So who doesn't put it on them at some point? We do regularly.
There's an interesting comment there from Soul Circus as well that says, I was in Zagreb many moons ago when Croatia had a European qualifier. It was a pretty tasty atmosphere and should be a good away day. But of course, as we said, all of this is dependent on away fans being allowed to travel. I'm sure everyone on the KUMB forum is already looking at what budget airlines are offering trips to, Zagreb and get. Where is Genk exactly? Do we know where Genk is?
It's in Belgium.
But I mean, I know it's Belgium, but do we know whereabouts? Is it are we talking? Let's have a look.
I'm on Google Maps now. You're right. Let's have a little butchers. Genk is directions to Genk. There we go. I'm even going to get directions.
Okay. Well,
It's right slap bang in the middle of Belgium, not too far from the Belgium-German border.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the Dutch border as well. So I mean, you've got looking at that, we've got Eindhoven not too far up the road to the north, Maastricht just to the southeast, which of course is those of you that follow politics will remember well from the 1990s. A certain edict was signed there many years ago. So I guess it looks like, I mean, looking at that, you've got Liège, I suppose, to the south, DL, and what do you reckon? Flight into Brussels maybe, and then a road trip from Brussels to get there, or a ferry maybe into Ostend and a road trip from there? What do you reckon is going to be easiest?
Well, personally, I'd do the ferry to Ostend and the road trip.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know if they've even got an have they got an airport at Genk?
No idea.
There's probably going to be some budget airline that we've never heard of that flies to Genk. Let's have a look.
Well, I'll tell you what. While you're looking at that, what might be interesting is just to have a look at the stadiums that we're going to be visiting and see what the capacity are. I mean, we can start with the smallest team in the group, Rapid Vienna, who play at the Alliance Stadium, which is a 28,345 capacity stadium. So there should be plenty of scope for travelling hammers in. Again, I don't know if you know what percentage of tickets go to the away teams in the Europa League. And,
no idea, but today, if you was getting a flight to Genk today, you'd have to go to Stansted to Eindhoven, and it is £10 return. Marvellous. Lovely.
Well, there you go. I'm sure many hammers will be flocking to take advantage of that one. So that's Genk. Anyway, there you go. A bit of geography for you at the same time. Genk in eastern Belgium, close to the borders with Holland and Germany. Looking at the other two teams we're facing, Dinamo Zagreb play at the Stadion Maksimir, which is a 35,000 capacity stadium. So again, plenty of option for away fans to travel to that one. What do we reckon that is? What, about 3.5 hours journey, Zagreb?
I'm having a little look here. There's no cheap flights by the looks of it to Zagreb. The cheapest flight I've found is £233, which is London Heathrow to Zagreb with one stop, which is no, that can't be right. Must be 233 quid, but you stop off somewhere.
Okay, that
can't be right. I don't know. I've never booked a flight in my life. This is where we could do. This is where we could do with Chaz on board, isn't it? Really?
Yes, of course. Yeah. Anyway, the final Genk we've touched upon in terms of their location, they play at the Luminous Arena in Genk, which is a 23,718 capacity stadium. But interestingly, it looks like it's reduced for UEFA matches to 21,500. So that's the smallest stadium. So again, you might get a very small contingent of hammers over there for that particular time. But at least we're not playing in any sort of sub 10k stadiums. They're all, as we said, the smallest being 23,000. Genk Zagreb 35,000 and Rapid Vienna 28,000, the Alliance Stadium. So plenty of scope, you think, anyway, DL, for our fans to get tickets if we're allowed to travel, of course.
Oh, indeed. But you've got to remember, though, it's not all about the away games. It's going to be 60,000 singing bubbles under the floodlights when Zagreb come out. I think that's going to be pretty special, don't you?
Yeah, I reckon so. Definitely. Noam telling us that there is an airport in Antwerp, so perhaps that might be the nearest location for Genk. And Graham Upson saying that at least we didn't get Man U, perhaps later. That's a fair point, I suppose. We were touching, weren't we, on the forum that how often we've drawn Man United in the domestic cups. I think it's 6 times in 11 years now. Is that absolutely nonsensical following that Carabao Cup third round job? So anyway, I mean, the season's kind of beginning to take shape now, isn't it, dear? We know who we've got in the Carabao Cup. We know who we've got in the Europa League, and I'm going to actually try and have a look now and figure out what that means in terms of who we're going to be playing after the Europa League game. So bear with me just a second, and I'll pull this up. Okay. We do have our dates here. So. Just to touch on that, the first date. So our first game is the 16th of September, That's match day 1 in the Europa League. And that is 3 days before we face Manchester United again. There you go, at the London Stadium. So that's at 2 o'clock. So we're going to be playing on Thursday evening. We don't know whether it's home or away yet, of course, that's to be determined. But we face Man United at 2 o'clock at the London Stadium. So we're assuming they'll be playing 24 hours earlier in the Champions League, but that should give them a slight advantage going into that one.
Well, it depends on where they're going, doesn't it? In the Champions League?
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, it's a really good point. Match day 2 is the 30th of September. And we face, it's another home game for West Ham after that. It's against Brentford, which is another 2 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday afternoon. So maybe they'll fancy that. I guess that, that initial promotion buzz that they've had, we saw them beat Arsenal, didn't we, in the opening game of the season? Hopefully that'll have, that'll be over by then. And but probably not the worst fixture for West Ham to have anyway after a European night.
No, but then I don't know how much it is going to affect us. How many times have we played the bigger teams and we've thought they'll have a European hangover because they've come back from Russia or Croatia or whatever, and it's still been a routine win for them. So I'm not so sure that there's actually that much in it. Hitting a team that's just done a European game, because these are extremely fit pros, aren't they? With extreme talent. I don't think it has too much bearing on the weekend results, personally. Well, that's when we've played teams, at least. So hopefully we can be the same.
Okay. Next up, 21st of October, match day 3. 3 days after that, Sunday the 24th of October, another 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon kickoff. Another one at the London Stadium, Tottenham Hotspur. And of course, we know that Spurs will be playing in their Thursday night league, the Conference League. So no difference for either side on that one.
No, all we hope is that they've got a longer trip than us.
Yes, the next one, 4th of November. Now, we are currently scheduled, this is going to change because we're currently scheduled, again, it's another home game. So this is working out really well for us at the moment. All 4 games so far to be played, Premier League games following Europa League games to be played at the London Olympic Stadium. It's Liverpool this time. We're scheduled to play them at 3 o'clock on the Saturday. Now, that's obviously going to change.
Yeah,
because but again, it's another team who will be involved in European competition. So far, 3 of the 4 we've looked at are going to be, Liverpool and Man United are going to be playing the night before us, possibly even on a Tuesday, possibly 4 days before us, but Tottenham also. So that's not so bad. Anyways, I guess that's good for us so far.
Yeah, can't really complain. But I'm liking all these home games. That's actually a little bit of a bonus, isn't it? Because we're not having to travel from Europe and then travel up the other end of the country to the northwest or to the northeast or whatever. So, yeah, it's worked out well for us. Yeah, are the cards falling? Is that what it's all about?
I mean, unfortunately, we are going to be having to make a long journey to the northwest for our 5th tie. Where the game 5, match day 5 in the Europa League is the 25th of November. And the following weekend, it's currently scheduled for 3 o'clock on the Saturday. It's going to be changed, of course. We're at the Etihad Stadium. We travel to face Man City. Now, of course, they're going to be playing in the Champions League, but there's your long trip to the northwest for you, anyway.
Yeah, well spoke to soon, didn't I? It's only one, isn't it? Yes. That's just going to be a routine 3 points to City, like it normally is. So it might, whether that was home or away, they'd still beat us. So.
Yeah, fair point. The last one, 9th of December, match day 6, the final group game in the Europa League, following which we are going up. It's another long trip to the northwest. This time we're at Burnley that weekend. So Burnley, only the second team we're going to be facing following a Europa League tie who aren't involved in European competition. That one is scheduled currently for a 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, the 11th at Turf Moor. Going to be knocked back, of course, 24 hours. Thoughts on that one?
Doesn't matter if it's Burnley. We're just going to spend the whole game putting high balls into the box and then nodding it back to us anyway. So it don't matter much, does it?
So no, of course. So there you go. So it's just recapping: Manchester United following Group 1, Brentford following match day 1, Brentford following match day 2, Spurs and Liverpool. I think it wasn't it? 3 and 4.
Yep.
And then Man City and Burnley, the 2 away games. So I guess that's fallen pretty well for us, isn't it? We've got 4 matches at home following the Europa League Thursday night games, and then those 2 reasonably long trips up to the northwest to face Burnley and Man City. It could have been worse, couldn't it? I guess.
Oh, it could have been a lot worse. I don't know. It's sort of like cloud nine. We've got these cards falling for us with a decent group. Our first 4 games all at home against one big team in Liverpool, and yeah, it's working out to be quite exciting, isn't it?
It is. Very, very enjoyable. Good fun. I suppose we should wrap up fairly soon. We've gone through pretty much all the permutations and the games following that. We will of course find out the exact dates and of the fixtures later on today. Hopefully, should we have a little prediction? Who do you think's going to win it this year overall, Europa League, out of those teams, and how far can West Ham go?
All the way. I think we can go all the way. I'm not going to say we will. It's just the luck of the draw, isn't it? If the bigger teams like the Lyon and Marseille and whatnot, if they have an off day and get knocked out by somebody else, we've had teams like Middlesbrough and Fulham get to the final in this competition.
Yeah.
The smaller teams, Spurs, another small team that's got to the final. We've got to be in it to win it. Why not? Why can't we? Get your hand in your pocket, Golden Sullivan. You've got 4 days, I think. Let's bolster the squad up and give it a good go. So I don't think we're going to get a better chance with that group.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. Do you think much of it is dependent on how much improvement we can make to that first team squad between now and Tuesday night? Of course, it looks like Kurt Zuma's on his way. Still waiting for that to be clarified. Alphonse Areola, the only other signing this season. We still need more players. Do you think? To provide a decent challenge to, the better teams in this competition.
Yeah, we need some more bodies. And contrary to what I said on the commentary the other night, I think it now may be time for Moyes to maybe have a second thought about not getting in bodies for the sake of it. We've got a good chance here. I don't think we're going to get a better chance to go far in a European competition if it means bolstering the squad with bodies for the sake of it. To cover injuries so that we don't affect our league form. I think this should be a busy 4 days for us. We need some more players in of reasonable quality. I'm not saying just buy any old dross. Maybe rethink the strategy in the last 4 days of the transfer window.
Okay, good stuff. Did you predict an overall winner? Did you give me
West Ham United of England?
Like it. I think, looking at those, I think Leverkusen are going to be a tough team. Spanish sides always seem to do well in the Europa League, don't they, as well? Seville not there, of course, this year, which is good. But maybe Lyon, Leverkusen, and if we can supplement our squad enough to get us through that group phase, I see no reason why we can't go even further. There's not really any outstanding teams there. I don't think I'm being too dismissive of the competition, but I don't think there's any teams there that really we should be frightened of in terms of, where they are. I mean, traditionally, you've got some big names in there, Lazio, Napoli. They're not at their, at their best at the moment. So yeah, why not? Who knows? Could be another European final. West Ham, of course, in the won the Cup Winners' Cup 1965. Lost in the final of the Cup Winners' Cup in 1976. Could it be a third European final for the Hammers this year? Well, of course, we'll find out very soon because it all starts in a couple of weeks' time. We've got a couple of Premier League games to go, and then we've got the international break, and then it all begins in earnest from then. So exciting stuff, Dio. Anyway,
it is exciting. And does the Intertoto not count as a European final?
That's what I was trying to think of earlier when we were talking about Osijek. I wasn't sure whether, but I think we did play them in the UEFA Cup, didn't we? But yeah, of course, we won. We won. Who was it we beat? Was it Metz?
Yes, it was. We beat Metz that season over 2 games.
Yes.
We lost the first one 1-0 at home.
We did, and it was the Fulham lad who scored the goal, wasn't it? I can't remember his name. It was the lad who went to Man United in the end. Was it not Sahar? Was it Sahar?
It doesn't. I'm reading it on the official site, so I'm not reciting this from memory. It doesn't say who scored the goal.
Okay.
actually. But yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah, it was the lad who went to Fulham and then Man U. But of course, famously, that the second leg, Paolo
yes.
One-Shot, Paolo Di Canio, Frank Lampard, I think, was it? That's from memory.
It was Trevor Sinclair, Frank Lampard, and one shot. So yeah, it was almost there.
Sinclair, not bad considering it was a chance for the London Olympic Stadium to make its own memories this year. Some decent ties coming up. A good draw for West Ham. I think we've established, we've agreed. Dinamo Zagreb, Genk of Belgium, Rapid Vienna of Austria. That's who West Ham United are going to face in Group H of the Europa League this season. From there on, who knows what will happen? But I think we're all quietly confident as Hammers, assuming, of course, that David Moyes is able to put out his strongest possible side, which, as we said, will probably depend upon who we can get in between now and the end of the transfer window.
Indeed. And maybe what's his name, who commented on the Facebook group, on this KUMB Facebook group yesterday, maybe he'll now start having second thoughts about wanting to get away, because I can see him getting a bit of game time. Maybe at 18 years of old age, maybe should just bide his time.
Yeah, Meepo would
have will come.
Yeah, hopefully. That's it from us this morning. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the stream. This very special stream as we look at the Europa League group stage qualifying groups. West Ham, as we said, against Zagreb, Genk, Rapid Vienna. All that's going to happen between September and December. For more information, join us on the KUMB.com forum. There is a Europa League thread specifically on there. There's going to be more content on the homepage of KUMB throughout the day, looking at our opponents. And we, of course, will join you, no doubt, for some live streams from those games, hopefully, if we can't go, as seems may be the case at the moment. But anyway, that's it from me and DL. Thank you, as I said, for joining us. We'll see you all again very soon. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow for West Ham United versus Crystal Palace live stream from West Ham United's third Premier League game of the season as we look to consolidate our position at the top of the Premier League.
Indeed.
Top of the Premier League in the Europa League. What's going on, DL?
I've got no idea. I'll wake up soon and realise it's all a bad dream.
Wonderful stuff. Take care, everyone. We'll see you all very soon. From me and DL, that's a wrap. See you all later. Goodbye.